Photography. When we think of that word, we think animals, we think landscapes, we think smiley happy faces in front of camera flashes. What it literally means is painting with light. And the beautiful thing about that is you can literally paint anything. Photography is a tool that has allowed us to share the way that we see the world. And now with No Mans Sky, Hello Games has created something truly beautiful. We've been given an infinite universe of infinite possibilities. We can explore galaxies, we can discover new creatures, new planets, new systems. And now with the introduction of photo mode, we get to share those discoveries with others. And it has opened up for a photographer like myself for the last 4 years a whole new universe, quite literally, of possibilities when it comes to photography. So what we're here to do in this series is basically let you learn the tips and tricks and ins and outs of No Mans Sky Photomode, and hopefully we'll be able to recreate images like you see on the screen here and himself, and even better images than that too. And I can't wait to see the ones that you'll hopefully share with me after this series is done. So let's get started now with an introduction to photo mode, and then we'll move on to some more advanced techniques. I hope you all have fun. Let's get it started. And there's no better place to begin than at the very start with our little starter ship. And we'll just get a quick look through of the functions of photo mode and take a quick photo just to show the very basics before we move on to some more advanced stuff. So we'll open up the menu, time of day, which is pretty explanatory. We'll get into the finer details of that. The fog density, which will bring in the surface fog on the planet, and it's great for some atmospheric shots, but we'll get into that at a later time as well. Let's zoom that back there for now. We have our cloud cover, which Hello Games have improved slightly in the last few patches, and we have our filters, which we'll get into. The field of view is pretty self-explanatory. We'll get into the tricks of that soon. You may get some warping and stuff, but we'll explain that more in depth at a later time. And best to keep it around 75 for now. We'll just stay with the basic. The depth of field, which is another thing we'll get into at a later time, and the vignette, which is pretty self-explanatory. Gives you a nice "that's all folks" look. So yeah, we'll start off by taking a little basic photograph here. And what I like to try and tell a story in my images. I like each image to tell us something about what's happened in the scene. So you can see you can adjust the sun here, which is a great thing for No Man's Sky. You can create your light wherever you want it. As we said, photography is painting with light, and when you can move the sun itself, it becomes a whole other thing. We'll just take a look. I think this is your photography zone. This is where you're allowed to go in photo mode. It extends out about 100 feet from wherever you activate photo mode. You can go 100 feet in whatever direction. If you decide to make a cave, it does go down too, so you can take a look. We'll go back down here now and take a little quick photograph with this nice twilight light. So here's our ship, and we've got a couple of sentinels floating about. So for this photograph, I'm going to make it look like the sentinels have shot down the ship, and now they're going about the business. You just want to angle it up whatever way you like. There's no right or wrong way to do this. It's all what you find pleasing. I'll just show you a little thing with the depth of field here. From a distance in space, it has a whole other effect, but if you do it on a planet's surface, you can bring the sentinel closest to the frame here out of focus. If this was on a DSLR camera, it would be the f-stops, where you change the aperture of the lens. But in photo mode, it just adds a nice little effect of softening here in the front of frame. Make the primary focus the ship. We'll just go through the filters here. There's quite a few of them. Some of them work a lot better than others. It all depends on the scene and on your personal choice. And we'll pick a little filter that we like. And as you can see, let's change the time of day to slightly change the light. And there's our picture. And that is how we capture a very basic photograph in photo mode. Now let's move on. Okay, now let's move on to the fun stuff. Here we are in an absolutely beautiful Forsaken planet with all these bubbles about it. The quickest way to find one of these planets, by the way, is to look for a red star system and look for a Forsaken planet. That's where I found most of mine. So we're going to enter photo mode as we do, and we'll take a look at the scene, and that in itself is a pretty nice photograph, but there is a little trick here that can make it look 10 times better in my opinion. So what we want to do is open up our menu and we'll go to our filters and we'll find the Filmic Filter. Now from this angle everything looks super overexposed, and that can work really well in certain situations, but in this planet you're kind of losing that depth into the hills and the bubbles and stuff, so we don't want it to be that exposed. So in filmic mode, if you angle the sun just right, you'll get this beautiful effect on the horizon and you'll get the stars and all. So we'll go about here, and as you can see the stars have started to appear over the waves, and if you adjust the time of day slightly, usually between 4 AM and 4:30 AM, you'll get this beautiful effect on the horizon. Now what you want to do then is, once you find the position of your sun, you look down, straight down at the ground from the horizon, you look straight down and enter photo mode. And when you do this, it will bring up this lovely solar flaring effect on the horizon, which gives a great shot. But it can be made better, and I don't know if this is a glitch or what, but once you take your photo like this, which is lovely, it's a great shot. I absolutely love it. But if you go back into normal mode and then get back into photo mode, you look again, and once you do the same thing again, look down, enter photo mode, it creates this lens flare of gold light, and it'll do it in most planets when you use this method. Just do the same thing twice, and on the second time you'll end up with this golden flare, and it creates a beautiful shot. So let's move on. So here we are out in space, and we're going to get a better look at depth of field. So thrusters up and into photo mode, and you can see it's a nice little system here. We got some freighters and a space station, a couple of moons and a planet. And what we're going to do is going to try and soften up these planets and make our starship the star of the shot. So once you're happy with how you're lined up, which usually takes me a long time, once you've got it lined up, you enter your menu and we'll move over to depth of field. And you'll see automatically as you start increasing the percentage, the planets will start to fuzz out. And when you're out in space, you don't rarely need to go the whole way to the top, as the distance is so great. But we'll bring it up here anyway, just to show the way it does. And as you can see, it's softened our thruster jets here, and it's kept the ship and the closest freighter perfectly in focus. And you line up your shot and choose a filter, of course. And again, they're all personal choice. There's no right or wrong way to do this. I've seen some incredible photographs from people on Twitter and on their subreddit, and don't ever fret if people don't like your photo. Everyone's got a personal choice. If you like it, you're doing a good job. We are all of us painters with light, and No Mans Sky is our canvas. So once you settle on a filter, you choose your shot and crack it off. But it doesn't have to be all close up. There's ways you can get way out there and really show the vastness of space, like so. Here we are way out from our ship. You may be able to see it there just in front of the planet. and this is at the maximum distance that we can use, and as you can see we've upped our field of view. We'll pick a filter, as we say, it's all personal choice. And when you take a shot like this, you want to enter photo mode and pull yourself way back, and choose where you want it. It's completely up to you. I'm just hoping that I'm showing you a couple of little tips to help you along the way. Once you choose your filter, and as you'll learn to know, I am a sucker for filmic mode. When used right, it's beautiful. You have your shot, but we'll zoom back in now and see how we get out to that distance. And there's so many different ways to change things about. Don't ever be afraid to experiment. You're not going to do anything wrong. You might find something truly beautiful that no one has seen in the game before, and you want to show it in its best light. Just do what feels good to you, what you like, and you'll not go far wrong. There's many ways to have this. As we say, we can have a close-up, just a standard shot. If you wanted to make a ship advert, but I'm going to go for way out this time. You can pull right back, and as I say, you can see the warping in the planet there. Once your field of view is increased past 75, the further you get away from something and the further it is from the center of the frame, it will warp, and it doesn't quite look like a planet anymore. It looks like a big blue bum. So we'll keep the planet center frame. If you do that correctly, there shouldn't be any warping. You just slightly angle where you want your ship to sit, and you can really get a beautiful shot like this, which really shows the grandness of some of the systems and the game itself. So we'll do a couple of more things now. So here we are up high as it looks, except we're not. We're at sea level. And this is a nice little trick I'm going to teach you now how to do. So if you look around, we are actually at sea level, as low as it can go in low flight mode. And the trick to this is to get your ship as low as possible, which is quite easy. And then it takes a bit of getting used to, but if you angle the camera just right, a little trial and error here for you, but I'll show you the technique. You can actually cut away everything on top and just get the scenery at the bottom. And once you get used to this, you'll find it really opens up the photography possibilities on water worlds, and it just looks stunning. That depth of field, the softening of the mountains in the distance, it's just a beautiful, beautiful scene. And different planets with different atmospheres will give different effects. It's all personal choice and trial and error, but I'd say try it yourself. It's just one of those little tips I haven't seen anyone else put up, and now you can try it too. I look forward to seeing your shots of it. So let's move on. So here we are on a nice airless planet, again found in a red star system, and you'll notice these big structures with the pink light in the middle. And the way to get the light to turn on is just get relatively close and point your crosshairs at it, and it will sense you and turn on. As you see, dink dink, and boop. And once you've got all the lights on in your immediate area, you want to line up your shot. As you can see here, our ship looks pretty good here on the horizon, but it's very dark. And a way around that is a very simple tip. You just open up your flashlight if it's nighttime, and there you go. You've got a flash. And this really opens up things when you're on planets and it's too dark to see the foreground. You've just basically got yourself a portable flash now in photo mode, and it opens up great shots like this. But we can go better. We can fiddle about with the filmic filters and stuff and see what else we can do. I'll just go in now, activate our flash again. I'll do it about straight on, I'd say, and light the ship as best we can. And then enter photo mode. And then you just play about and find what scene you like. We'll adjust the sun here. And if you remember, it is, if you want that nice twilight light, if it's sunrise it's between 4 AM and 4:30, and if it's sunset it's between 7 PM and 7:30. And you can adjust it through the slight levels just to get the different effects. And again, the fog density with these purple lights can give some really surreal alien looking worlds, as you can see. But we're not going to go for that right now. We're going to dial that back and try and set up a nice little sunrise shot. Got it dialed back. But again, this is same as always, this is personal choice. What you find pleasing, you're doing a good job. I'll switch your filter, and the Filmic Filter will darken things down a bit, but you'll find with the flash on you'll get just enough highlighted to get a very nice cinematic shot like this. And that just about does it for episode 1 of No Mans Sky Photography for Beginners. If you have any questions or comments, let me know on YouTube or Twitter. I'll leave my information up at the end. And yeah, if you're happy with what we've done, let us know. I won't ask you to like or subscribe because it's dumb. This has been a very basic look at the very beginner's techniques for No Mans Sky photography. Next time we'll be looking at some of the more advanced tips and tricks and glitches that can be used. We'll look at terrain manipulation, which is just nuts and opens up a whole other world. We'll look at the Sentinels and their photographic opportunities. We'll check out some of the races in No Man's Sky and some portraiture, and my personal favourite, space combat. Make sure to check it out. Thanks for watching.